Jackson, what was the Patreon movie you watched this week?
Osmosis Jones.
Heck yeah.
Osmosis Jones.
Picked by some person.
Hunter.
Some manner of human.
Hunter Nikolai.
Thanks for the suggestion, Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we couldn't remember your name.
Uh-oh.
And by we, I mean Jackson.
Oh, no.
Nico, do you want to give us the rundown of Osmosis Jones?
I was going to give the rundown because you guys both have a movie you're going to...
I'd rather Jackson do it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so basically, there's two stories going on with this movie. We have the A plot, which is, of course, whatever his name is, and his daughter, the dad, being like a host of the rest of the B plot. And then the B plot is basically we have Osmosis Jones, who's a white blood cell, and there is a virus or a bacterial infection or something inside the father's body that's wreaking havoc and trying to kill him in record time. And Osmosis Jones is a detective who has partnered up with a pill, and they're basically just trying to stop this from happening. So they go on wacky hijinks to try and gather clues about the virus. I'm just going to keep calling it a virus. While that's happening, we're also getting like cutbacks to how this is all affecting the dad in real time, as well as like the dad trying to mend his relationship with his daughter. And he does, in fact, the virus kind of like succeeds and then like dips from the body, and then Osmosis Jones like catches him and grabs the DNA cells, whatever it is, back from the virus. The virus dies. He brings the DNA back, resuscitates the fucking father, and then the father and the daughter recuperate their relationship, and the movie ends on a nice little happy note, and then they made an animated series of it afterwards.
Yep.
They sure did.
Yeah, where he ends up in some little Cuban boy instead. Yeah. Because, I mean, they're not gonna get Bill Murray back for the animated show, you know?
I'd assume they don't even really need to show the real-life people anymore.
Oh, they still do, dude. They still do.
You gotta know what's happening on the outside.
They gotta show him getting, like, scrapes and bruises while he's playing b-ball with the boys.
Does Bill Murray give this Cuban boy, like, a blood transfusion or something?
I think he just, like, sneezes or something. I forget what exactly happens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, Osmosis Jones. I thought this was a surprisingly fun movie.
Yeah? I will say, it's a lot more urban than I recall.
Okay. Interesting. I don't disagree.
I like
Osmosis Jones is aggressively black.
Yeah, I like Chris Rock as an actor. I not really sure how I feel about him voice acting in this movie. It almost doesn't fit.
You prefer Shark Tale, don't you?
I literally have written down right here a superior version of Shark Tale.
I don't disagree at all. That's a great comparison, Tanner.
Yeah, in terms of animated buddy cop movie, takes on that sort of genre, this is much better than Shark Tale, in my opinion.
Oh, far and away.
This definitely brought back a lot of memories when I watched it as a child, because I also did watch the animated show. And I only found this movie extremely appropriate for this week, because I think the night that I watched it is when I started showing symptoms for having COVID for like the 5th time.
Oh, fantastic.
Do you actually believe you've had COVID 5 times?
I for sure had it twice. I'm pretty sure I had it like 3 times undisclosed.
Why do you not have immunity to it by this point?
That's a great question. Maybe because
he keeps getting these new strains.
Yeah, man. So that was, I remember watching this Monday night, and I was thinking, man, it would just be so funny if, I'm watching this, anyway. So yeah, I thought it was animated very nice. I thought the humor was pretty well done. I liked the little puns that they had going, the way they portrayed the different body parts and like the way things worked.
I like that shot where you can see Bill Murray's gaping asshole in the background.
Yeah. I gotta say, I really like a lot of the the wordplay, the background gags, like all the little things that they do with the body. I think they're all pretty much like pretty clever, and I feel like they add a lot to the world. Like this definitely feels like very lived in, and like it's like they're trying to conceptualize like this entire world that's like inside the body. That's a very alien concept, but at the same time, it's still like it's the human body, so it's still something familiar. So they don't really have to like over explain anything about it. You kind of just like intuitively get it as they like merge it with the idea of just like this big bumbling city,
How did you guys feel about all of the cells in the body referring to like the guy Bill Murray as like we, like almost like a hive mind symbiote kind of thing, where like we are all this guy, he is us, like kind of thing?
I didn't even notice they did that.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, there's so the guy's name is Frank, and, they'd say stuff like, "Oh, my Frank, I can't,
Yeah, like, they referred to him as, like, a higher deity.
Like yeah, exactly.
It got to a point where the mayor was like, "Get out of my body, I've got to take care of my body," kind of thing, so...
I mean, that makes sense for, like, the mayor. He's, like, the one running the show.
Yeah, terrible politics, by the way. This guy would not... This guy was terrible.
I mean, he's great at politics.
No, he
was giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out this world's politics. It's like, yeah, you guys want us to be lazy and eat chicken wings and chips all day, right? And I'm like, I don't see how this affects anybody's day-to-day life.
Well, you see, Dylan, the idea behind that is that by Frank, like, consuming all that shit, he's getting fatter. And because of that, he's giving them more space to live in,
I don't know if that idea was ever actually discussed in the movie, but I'm gonna...
Nico's definitely just bullshitting.
No, they have that sight gag of, fuck, what? It was like some part, it was like his love, it was his love handles, and it was like, fastest growing city in Frank,
Yeah, so it's like, we're going to the Buffalo Wing contest in Buffalo, New York, and, like, you could just see the city freaking out, like, yeah, we love it, yeah, you rock, you're awesome.
Yeah, they're also talking about, like, what are you going to do to, like, solve the fucking world's, like, living crisis or whatever? We don't have enough places to live. And he's like, I'm thinking about expanding to a third chin, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Never mind, I missed all of those jokes as it
definitely
turns out.
heard the third chin part. I just missed what happened before then, apparently.
Yeah.
Nico and I are the only ones watching the movie.
I wasn't really that into this movie, to be honest.
What? No
I
way.
definitely think the world building stuff is the best part of it. I don't really think I liked anything else.
I'm gonna say this and see if I can spark conversation from this. What do you guys think about Lawrence Fishburne's performance in this movie?
I can't tell if it's bad or good, to be honest.
He doesn't sound like himself in this movie, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, I don't think he sounds very much like Lawrence Fishburne either.
Yeah, but
he doesn't
then
have
again,
to, though. He just needs, like, be a character is all.
Mm-hmm. Who the fuck is this? The pill guy?
No, that was the Red Death. That was the virus.
Yeah,
Thrax.
Which I'm totally fine with. I felt like he was a great character, a very imposing villain, I must say.
Yeah. Also, one weird thing about, like, the pill character, I felt like his personality was all over the place, because he seems like a really humble guy. But then you, like, constantly see him, like, flexing for cameras and, like, oh, I have this many degrees. Like, I was really trying to figure out if he was a humble guy or not, but he wasn't really one way or the other.
He's like a nerd.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, but he's also always, like, flexing in front of cameras and stuff, so that doesn't really say nerd to me, Tanner.
He knows that he's the shit, Dylan.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's the shit. Yeah, he's a fucking,
I don't know.
Cold pill.
Like I said, I thought his personality was very conflicting, but I thought it added a weird kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Spontaneity to the movie, I guess. At least for his character.
Well, you see, Dylan, he's very white-coated, and because of that, like, he gets a certain sense of, like, superiority compared to our Osmosis Jones guy, you see, who's just, like, some dude who, like, had to grow up in the
projects.
He grew up in the projects, Dylan. He isn't, like, a well-educated man like him. He's just been, like, having to live on the streets all his life. Like, he's nowhere near the same level as Pillboy, okay?
Which is a crazy concept, because he also, had exposition where he was like, yeah, my family's been in the cops since my great-granddad or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how that constitutes, but...
It's just about the optics, Dylan.
I guess so.
Like, he's not gonna really know that just from looking at the guy. He's gonna look at him and be like, this guy is made out of osmosis.
Osmosis is a bodily process, not a...
This guy's made out of osmosis, Dylan. So, Dylan, overall, what did you think of Osmosis Jones? You seem to, like, really be high on it. Did you really have any complaints, though, outside of Pillboy?
No, I mean, I don't really have any complaints about this movie. It moves
along...
It's not perfect.
Hmm.
It moves along fairly well. I think the mechanics they put in the movie as, like, this is how the body works from their perspective, and it makes a logical sense from, like, an outside anatomy, like, perspective. I think it was, like you said, it was very clever. I like what they did.
What did you guys feel about the pop culture references in it? Do you feel like they worked in it?
I'm sure most of them went over my head, but I think it all worked.
Yeah, I think it was weird that they made Michael Jackson meet the daughter. That was strange to me, but...
Kid Rock was in this movie. That was crazy, right?
Kid Rock was in this movie. They chose, like, a really strange song to go with for it as well, by the way. Like, were you guys really paying attention to the lyrics at all?
No.
Not
I mean,
really.
kinda. I heard it, like, when they were trying to emphasize it, but...
All right, let me read you off a little bit of what was in this song that they chose for this children's movie, okay? Young ladies, I like 'em underage, see. Come say it's statutory, but I say it's mandatory.
Oh, yeah, that does sound familiar.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Kid Rock was not known for his,
He's not.
Surely he had other songs.
Not really. I can think
that
of
song
maybe
just
one
fits so
song.
well.
I can think of maybe
he only
one or
has
two
one
songs.
well-known song, and this isn't it.
Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by well-known. I know several songs by Kid Rock, but only like one or two of them are what I would deem child-appropriate.
By the way, guys, I don't know if you saw it all, but Pikachu is actually in this film.
Whoa.
I think I saw.
Yeah.
What are you sending us? Let's see this.
Where in the movie was it?
It was when they were on the fucking boat when he was getting ready to hop on out of there. Check her out, dude. Check her out. I got the Pikachu pic right here for you. The sexy little Pikachu pic.
He ate like a Pikachu plushie?
No, it's just someone holding a Pikachu.
Oh, hey, yeah, look at that.
That looks photoshopped as fuck, I'm gonna be honest.
It does, but it's real. It's in the movie. Yeah, Jackson was the first one who actually had noticed and pointed it out, actually. He paused the movie and made a big old pog face and pointed at the screen and said, "Holy fuck, is that Pikachu?"
Well, you know how Jackson is. He is a big fan of them Pokemans.
He says that a reference to the
his
Pikachuran gene that people have within their body?
You telling me I could be a mouse electric type Pokemon?
Unfortunately for Jackson, it was not a reference to that at all, because that wasn't like really officially discovered and named until 2008, which is well after this film came out.
Dang.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
So, boys, do you have any other thoughts on Osmosis Jones?
No.
No, I don't think. I think, for what it is, where it's, for what it is, which is, it's a buddy cop thing, but it does, the cells at work sort of idea. I think I think it's pretty good.
Dude, Bill Murray is disgusting in this movie.
He's so gross.
Gross slob. Do you think he enjoyed being in this film?
I don't think he did. He looks miserable. He looks like deeply miserable throughout this movie. I'm like, man.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he did have to fill the part.
They did a great job, the director just being like, "Hey, Murray, listen, your wife's dead, and you're just kind of a fucking bum." And then he killed it, man. He's
listen, man, it's
gross.
depression eating.
It's depression something for sure.
Alright, so Jackson, what'd you think of this film? What's your rating gonna be?
Yeah, like I said, I don't really think too highly of it, to be completely honest. I don't really feel like shitting on it for like the next 5 minutes either. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm giving it a C.
Jesus.
A C isn't that bad. I feel like that's pretty fair overall. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B, though, I think.
Okay.
Dylan, how about you?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it an A.
Jane, you gonna round this out with this like sort of ascending thing we got going? Are you gonna give an S tier?
No.
Or maybe go a different round and give it D tier.
No, I'm giving it an A-.
Okay.
Easy dubs.
And that puts us at B+.
There we
I am
go.
okay with that.
Jackson, what are your negative thoughts on it? You didn't really say too much about it.
Oh gosh, the characters are really inconsistent and weird. The whole, like, schema of the plot with, like, the fucking bad guy, I don't know why he was doing, like, they didn't really explain why he was doing all this, like, setup work before, like, oh, I'm gonna make him, like, have a cold so people don't suspect that this is happening, when he could have just fucking stormed them from the start, because none of that work related to what they were doing there at all. Animation was okay. The CG looked really bad. The fucking whole A-plot of, like, the real-life shit was completely pointless, and I didn't care about it at all. It was just an excuse to look at gross shit. There's so much more I can talk about. I don't really want to, again, shit out on this movie for, like, 5 minutes straight.